Hello everyone, I'm Nove, and welcome to a video of Should You Buy for the Mirai Guardian. We have a nice ship that just got released a few days ago. I have timestamps listed below so you guys could skip to the things that you want to actually see about the video, and let's go ahead and get into it. To start it off, we're looking at the ship exterior, and I have the red sky paint right now currently. Because I'm a fan of the whole red and black paint, as well as actually the red cockpit tint. I didn't know that they actually added that, but they do. You can see on the wings they actually added 10 size 4 missiles, 3 at the top on each, 2 at the bottom. It does pretty decent damage, and that's the red tint right there that we're taking a look at. It just does look pretty nice instead of the clear tint that they had in the beginning. It's a much bigger ship than I first anticipated whenever we saw the, the leaked videos and photos of it beforehand. Let's go ahead and take a look at the side of it. You could see actually just how big the ship is. You could look at the M7 cannons on the sides. You have one on each side, dealing pretty good damage, and as you can see, the visibility on the cockpit is actually really nice as well. You'll be able to look at pretty much everything when you're inside, and we'll show that once we go inside as well. If you look at the back, it has pretty big thrusters. I really do like the animations on them. They move kind of like how the other fighters are. If you look at the F7 and how the thrusters move the way you're moving, and it's a pretty nice animation. And at that point, let's go ahead and move on to the next part of the video, and we'll go from there. Let's go ahead and go in from the back. We'll start from there. We have a elevator button, having a small elevator that'll drop down and allow us to go inside. We're going to want to step out here so I could show you guys the front part, because the elevator actually reaches a part of the ship that I think is pretty important. You can see over here you have a pretty big suit locker. Hopefully, eventually, one day they're eventually going to let us use these suit lockers. I'm actually surprised that's not something that they've implemented already. But I actually always really admire them. They look pretty nice, and just the fact that the Mirai ships just look really clean on the inside. It's always been one of my favorite ships for Misk and Mirai ships altogether. But hopefully they'll eventually add these suit lockers, and so we could be able to use them thoroughly for any type of flight suits. Let's close that up. And over here to the left side, we actually have the gun racks. Now, unfortunately for these gun racks, from what I've seen, you can't actually put LMGs or anything of that size in these. You'll have to go with either SMGs or probably some assault rifles. And also, unfortunately, I don't know why, but they didn't add any small racks for small weapons like the the utilities, the med pens, the multi-tool. They didn't add them, and it's unfortunate. I would have liked to have them, but I mean, it does hold 2 weapons, which is still pretty good if you're going on any bunker runs. Going into the engineering section of the ship, you have all your components right here. They look pretty decent. You have 4 components at the bottom. You have the 2 large ones at the top, coming in from those parts, and hopefully whenever engineering is implemented, I'm not sure exactly, like especially in a fighter, how that's gonna work. If you'll be able to maybe probably do it after a fight. Going into the third part, we're looking at our very small habitation, which I absolutely love about this. It's a heavy fighter with a bunk bed, a TV. Hopefully with that TV, they'll eventually in the future implement some sort of like newscasting or something. A small kitchen for your drinks. Again, future gameplay for all the role players. And a bathroom. Not actually bald. It's a little bug right now if you're wearing a helmet. It just doesn't show your hair. At the bottom of the bunk, you're gonna go ahead and see that you'll have a storage space, storage capacity. You'll be able to fit in actually quite a lot. You'll be able to fit in armor, weapons, anything else that you're gonna find along the verse going out on your adventures. And to the front, we have the cockpit, and we can go inside and you can see that beautiful visibility that we were talking about. I do like how they didn't add the red tint to the front or from the inside part, because that really would have been annoying. But yeah, you have clear visibility, the computer at the top, and at the front button is a exit or entrance to a ship. So you actually have two ways of doing it. And yeah, that's pretty much the interior. From now on, let's go ahead and talk about some of the ship components. In these ship components, you're looking at a few things we're going to talk about, and that's very important. We're looking at weapons. You have two size 5 cannons, which are the M7s that we saw previously. The 10 size 4 missiles also that you saw that were connected to the wings. And unfortunately, it's one size 2 shield, but I think it makes up for it in its flight, its speed, and maneuverability. It actually handles pretty well for a heavy fighter. But other than that, for the power plant, you also have 18 points, which actually fill up pretty well. You are able to have max shields and weapons, and this is of course on the base Guardian, of course. Now let's go ahead to our next part. We're gonna go ahead and showcase a little bit of the combat fighting. I'm not the best when it comes to doing these, but I tried doing my best. I just wanted to showcase a little bit of the maneuverability and the damage output. At this point, we're just gonna go ahead and take out some MRT bounties, and as you can see, it handles pretty well, especially for handling small fighters. And it does deal a lot of damage. For somebody who's much more skilled than I, this would be a very good ship. With the M7s, they only max out at 15 shots. For small ships and medium-sized ships, as you can see right there, it's not an issue. The ship is more designed to handle larger ship fighting. I did want to include this because this is something that I didn't know until later after a few days of testing this. But you actually do have a personal locker that is sitting outside on one of the wings, which I think is really cool. Especially for if you're doing any type of bunker runs and you need to put in weapons and armor rather than having to try to go inside the ship constantly. You have a way of doing it outside, which actually I think is very unique in this ship, as well as a weapon rack. Again, it doesn't hold an LMG, unfortunately, but in this case it does hold utilities such as the med pen and the utility gun, which it's not bad. You could use it definitely, especially if you're in combat on foot. I still think they should have added it on the inside as well. But this does give you a little bit of a shield protection, especially if you're in combat. You need a med pen, you're hurting. This is a great way of doing a little bit of extra combat. Let's go ahead to the last part of the video. So should you buy the Mirai Guardian? Well, I want to go ahead and show you guys the prices that we have over here. We have two of them, one of them as a war bond at 230 and one at 250, which is store credit if you want to go that route. As a heavy fighter compared to something else like the F8C and the Vanguard, I think the price range isn't so bad compared to what it offers, especially as a way to bedlog, and I think it's honestly it has a multi-role purpose that the other ships just don't have. And in that sense, if you guys think that it's worth putting in $230 for a ship, I obviously did, but I think I've been using this non-stop since I've gotten it, and honestly, it works pretty well, especially for going to do a lot of different types of gameplay other than cargo, but you know, they have different ships specifically for that. Going into combat, going to do bunker runs, even jumping at far distances around the verse. This ship actually does a very well job of doing a lot of those things. If you're looking for a ship like this, then it's not bad, especially if you're looking for a 2-in-1 type of ship. Final thoughts I'd have to ask is, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that the price point is too high? Do you think that it's actually good, considering the fact that it can suit multiple roles for a lot of different people? If you're looking to have a fighter and also maybe something to use as a small daily, perhaps, if you're looking at it that way, I think it is something that you should be looking into. If not, if the price point is too high, you could always go ahead and get something like a C1 and maybe even a small fighter. But it's all up to you guys. Thank you guys for watching the video. If you did like it and you have any comments, let me know down below. If you did get to this part, please like and subscribe as my first video, and hopefully we'll be making more in the future. Thank you.